Joining us today is Michael Vick.
One of the most fascinating and polarizing sports figures of the past decade. He's written a book detailing his journey through football, dogfighting, prison. It's called Finally Free. It's in stores September 4th. Let's talk to Michael. What would you say was the moment, Michael, that you were most scared?
The moment I was most scared was when I signed on the dotted line to go to prison. I kind of signed away my freedom. And that was tough. It's hard for any individual to say, okay, I'm going to turn myself in and go to jail.
What was the first day in prison like?
The first day in prison was rough. When I first walked in, they had a big, pile of spaghetti on a tray sitting there. It looked like it had been sitting there all day. And it looked nasty, and I vowed never to eat that food. But it was rough. But after 3 days, I had to eat it because I was going to die of starvation. But it was tough, man. My first hour, I just put the sheets over my head because I was claustrophobic because I had never been locked in a room where I couldn't get out. So I got claustrophobic for a minute and just had to fight that and then kind of got myself together. But it was a rough day.
I can't even imagine what that was like for you, Michael. So
it was rough.
So you decide not to eat the first 3 days, and you're claustrophobic, and everything that's outside that cell is scary too, right?
Yeah, everything outside of the cell is scary as well, but, the thing that gets you the most is the fact that the world is going to continue to move on. You're still going to have people going out to eat. You still have people, carrying on with their normal lives, but your life stopped. That's the scary part. While you sitting there in a position where you just stagnant, and on a hiatus, the whole world is continuing to move on, having fun, enjoying their freedom, and you're not. So that's the hard part.
Did you even know it was wrong as you were doing it?
I knew it was morally wrong on the inside because of what we was condoning in with the dogs. But I never heard about anybody getting in trouble, going to prison, losing their freedom. I just didn't think, and I hate to sound, selfish in this regard, but I just didn't think it was something that would land somebody in prison or take over somebody's life. I never seen it happen, never heard of it in all my years, so I never paid any attention to that part of it. A lot of people don't know I didn't go to the prison. I wasn't sentenced for dogfighting. I was sentenced for crossing state lines, and that pertains to transfers of money, through the enterprise, so to say.
What would you say is the most scared for your life you were in prison? Were you ever scared for your life?
I think, the first couple of days you don't know anybody. You're around a whole bunch of guys, a whole bunch of people that you just don't know. You don't know what they're gonna try.
Were you tested a lot?
Tested once, but it was cool. It blew over.
How did you blow it over?
I had people in between as mediators who had everything blew over. It didn't escalate into something that it wasn't supposed, into what it could have become.
I got to imagine that you had some friendships developed with inmates who protected you as well, who wanted you to get out and get back to your life.
Oh man, absolutely. Almost 70% of the prison population of where I was at wanted me to go out and get back to my life. And I got to give credit to a lot of those guys. They was there for me, always encouraging me. We watched the news and, everybody had their own opinions and felt like things should have been done differently. But, for the most part, everybody had my back and I was appreciative of that.
Can you explain to us, Michael, and I appreciate how open you're being with all of this, and people will be able to see how open you are in the book. Can you explain to us what your greatest moment of shame felt like?
My greatest moment of shame is shame. I don't have to explain it. How can I explain shame? When you have a case that's publicized in front of the whole world and everybody's looking at you like, you're some type of, monster or beast, and stories are being written that are not true and don't have any merit to it because nobody really knows the facts, then that's shame. You know, that makes you feel ashamed.
What was the last day of prison like?
That was the greatest day of my life, or the beginning of my new life. You know, it was the longest day, but it was the best day.
It was long. It was longer than the first
Oh
day.
man, it was long. It was long. It was longer than the first day, absolutely.
So that's interesting. The first day was claustrophobic and afraid, but the last day was longer because
It was
you were.
slow. It was slow and dragged out. It was slow.
So you're leaving prison on the last day, and aside from seeing your family and your loved ones, the one thing that you're most eager to do is what?
Eat some real food.
That just eat. And so where did you go? Did you immediately get taken somewhere to eat?
Man, I think I went straight to Pizza Hut or McDonald's. I think one of the two.
Right there. I would have expected a better meal than that coming out, but you just wanted something fast.
I wanted Mickey D's.
And that's the best meal you've ever had, right? That tasted like the best meal you've ever had.
Man, I ate it so fast. It was unbelievable.
So the question you get asked most often is, did you deserve to go to prison? Michael Vick's answer, was the punishment fair? Was it excessive? What's the answer?
It was fair. And it wouldn't have been as long if I wouldn't have got caught smoking marijuana when I was on parole. So it was fair.
Do you think somebody else who wasn't to be made an example of, somebody who wasn't famous, who did the same exact thing, do you think everything's the same about the penalty?
I don't know. That's the thing. I'm going to have to go research some cases and see if anybody's been to jail in the last 2 years for this similar type of thing. I think that's something that we all should do. We should go back and research some cases just to make sure that everybody's doing their job and that the awareness that I'm trying to bring is working. That's what I want.
You don't sound bitter though, Michael. You seem like really happy. You don't sound embittered by what was your experience.
Well, I think from the experience, standpoint of what I went through, I'm not bitter because I think it changed me and helped me become a better person, and now I'm doing better things with my life. Like, I actually enjoy working with the Humane Society. It's been a pleasure, and everybody thinks I'm doing it as a gimmick, but I'm really not. The only thing that I would change is, the fact that I fought those dogs, and, I could have gave them a better life.
Have you had a moment, Michael, with a dog owner where someone is particularly angry or impassioned with you personally, where you're taken aback?
Not yet. Not yet. I had a couple situations, maybe 3 or 4 situations where people came out and was protesting and some, derogatory language, was expressed, and but that's only been on a couple of occasions. Everybody else has, said they've forgiven me and they appreciate me turning everything around, and I think that's made me at peace.
You have found America to be forgiving.
I've found America to be forgiving, and I appreciate it, and I thank each and every person who prayed for me, each and every person who, believed in me. And my objective now is just to not disappoint.
If there are people out in this audience, Michael, who still have really bad feelings for you, one thing that you would say to them would be what?
Forgiveness. Forgiveness. I mean, we all want it. We all need it at some point. We all have to give it, whether it's to a family member, whether it's to a friend, whether it's to a stranger. We all have to be able to forgive. And I think holding grudges, only brings bad karma, because it takes away from your joy, it takes away from your happiness. I think that's energy that you can be spending on something positive and, creating a better outlook.
Michael, we really appreciate how open you were. Papi, my father has one last question for you. Go ahead, Papi.
Tell me about your son. Is he going to be a football player?
And I think my son is going to be a golfer. Going to try to keep him upright and keep him clean.
No hits, right?
No hits at all.
There are no hits in golf. It's much safer.
Yes, it is.
Michael, thank you so much. We look forward to the book coming out on September 4th.
All right, thank you.
Gracias.